Ladies and gentlemen, today we are live for another edition of the NASCAR Busch Series on NASCAR 06 Total Team Control. We are at the Indianapolis Raceway Park tonight for the running of race number 23 of 35 in the Kroger 200 on our NASCAR Busch Series Do It for Dale season. Like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content as we get into today's full race live stream, live commentary, realistic commentary throughout. Very short race today, just 200 laps around this roughly half mile, just a little less than a half mile in length racetrack. So with that being said, it is going to be a double header tonight. I wasn't originally planning on doing a double header. I thought this race was going to be a little bit longer. The Truck Series race here, if I remember correctly, took barely over an hour. I think it was an hour and 13 minutes, and that was with like 3 or 4 cautions. If we have less than that today with cautions, there is a possibility we can get this race in less than an hour. So I'm going to be doing a doubleheader for that reason. The next race will be on a different stream following this one, and it will be at Watkins Glen, which if you watched the Cup Series race at Watkins Glen last week on the channel on this game, you know it's going to be wild. And spoiler, it is probably going to be a wreck fest because the last one was for the Cup Series. I think there were 13 cautions for 39 caution laps. And this race is only 8 laps shorter than the Cup Series race length, so we could set a NASCAR 06 record for the most cautions in a single race. You never know. I hope that doesn't happen. Hopefully we can get more green flag action in that second race, but it's going to be a wild 2 races, so definitely hit that like button, definitely subscribe, and we're about to get into qualifying at IRP right here, right now. Mike Head and Michael Head, welcome to the stream. For Express, Cheyenne, and others, welcome in as well. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. going to try to get this Oreo Ritz Chevrolet on the pole. Comes into this race third in the point standings. Not too far out of second. Mathematically, all he has to do is beat J.J. Yaley by 2 positions today, and he will take over second place following this race. If you watched the Truck Series race at IRP last weekend on the channel, on Friday night, Ron Hornaday dominated this race, led the most laps, and won. Dale Jr. hoping for the same today. No practice for this race today. Just went into a qualifying, somewhat similar setup. Obviously, the Busch Series cars carry more speed than the trucks in general do. Lap 1 is 6th fastest for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Gonna need to be really good on lap 2 if he's gonna want to sit on the pole. And the Clint Boyer Dale Jr. rivalry heads for round 3 today. And it comes to a short track. A lot better on lap 2. And front row, but not pole position for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Very, very close. And J.J. Yaley will be on the pole for today's race. It looks like Clint Boyer will be starting in 6th. I honestly like the setup of the car. It's a little edgy, so hopefully we can hold on the long run. And by the way, yes, thanks for Express for the thumbnail. I did use it. I meant to message you back, but I literally didn't get home until about 15-20 minutes ago. So I was just trying to get this stream up as quickly as I could. But I appreciate you doing some extra work on that. Toxic Punk Youngboy, welcome into the stream as well. Sizia and Alt, Patrick Chatterley, welcome. Time to pick up some points indeed. The top 3 in the standings all start in the top 3 rows. And it'll be J.J. Yaley, as mentioned, leading the field to the green today at the Indianapolis Raceway Park. Green flag is in the air. Who is going to win? 13 races to go in the Busch Series season. Look how quickly Dale Jr. is able to get down to the bottom lane off the exit of Turn 2, really in the middle of Turns 1 and 2. He had to let his teammate go and actually lose a spot off the start to do so, but now he gets under Truex off Turn 4 as Yaley leads lap 1. Jr. going to try not to overdrive the corner. Aggressiveness bit him in the second to last race at the Old Spice, he actually won the Old Spice Speedway race, but it cost him on the last short track race at the UPS Speedway. And ended up with a 7th place finish, but unfortunately Clint Boyer won that day. Truex holding up Dale Jr. just a little bit. Yaley pulling out to about a 2-car length lead. Truex was giving a lot of bottom open to his teammate, but Jr. couldn't quite get the accelerator down as quickly as he wanted to and couldn't make the pass. Starting to fall back from the top 2 now after a couple laps. And Truex is closing right back in on Yaley now that he's not worrying about Dale Jr. anymore. Brandon Miller comes in 9th in the point standings, right behind Dale Jr. He overdrives Turn 3. They'll get shuffled to the outside lane. They'll be side by side for fourth, and Junior can hopefully pull away from those two now. Let's see. It seems like Junior's car is a little bit tight on the bottom of the racetrack right now. And it might be because he's in traffic, where in qualifying he was a little looser because he had clean air. But not qualifying on the pole definitely costed him. He's going to try to run a little bit of a wider arc going into the corner, see how that's going to work out for him these next couple turns. He's got to hope that nobody gets underneath him, though, while he does that. I actually have the Watkins Glen thumbnail ready to go already for appreciate it though. It was kind of a surprise doubleheader because I turned the game on and realized that I'm like, man, this race is going to be like an hour, maybe less. So I wanted to do 2 races tonight for that reason, with the earlier start time. So they will be back to back. Yeah, Jeff Gordon and Kurt Busch's birthday is tomorrow. I think they share the same birthday, if I remember correctly. Carter to the outside in turns 1 and 2, trying to get a little bit of a run on Dale Jr. Jr.'s not able to really keep up, though, with J.J. Yaley and Martin Truex Jr. at the front of the field right now. Jr. way down to the bottom in turns 3 and 4, trying to get all 4 tires down below that yellow line. He's just trying something different. Derek Booth, welcome to the stream. Junior holding the inside into turn 3. John Hamilton to the inside of the 4th place car. Dale Jr. has won the last race, as I mentioned, at the Old Spice Speedway, though that was on a road course. Finished 7th on the last short track. He has finished in the top 10 in all but 1 short track race this year. The only one he didn't was at Bristol in what was a fuel mileage race, and he was about 3.5 laps short on fuel to the end. Had to pit, relegated him to a 42nd place finish. He was in the top 5 before that. John Hamilton looks to the bottom. Junior with a block going into turn 3. He was barely clear. Seems like he's slowly creeping in on Truex and Yaley in front of him, but there's some faster cars that qualified a little bit further behind these top 3 that have been putting a lot of pressure on Dale Jr. Right now, it's John Hamilton in the 120 car. Hamilton going towards the outside in turns 3 and 4. It looked like he kind of overdrove the corner, and Junior gaps him just a bit that time. Yep, 2 streams tonight. Watkins Glen will be the next race for the Busch Series. It'll be a Busch Series doubleheader on the channel. Just because this race is short, that's the only reason why. It seems some laps Dale Jr.'s quicker than the 2 cars ahead of him, and some laps that they are quicker. They're able to pull away from Jr. just a bit more. Junior's constantly changing his lane. One thing he hasn't tried is going all the way up near the wall, but he's in danger of losing a spot, and that's why he doesn't want to try that right now. They risk losing 3rd, knowing track position is so vital. Hamilton looks low off turn 2. Junior comes off the wall down to the bottom in the middle of the backstretch pretty quickly. Hamilton still all over the back bumper. Junior. Truex lost to Yaley just a little bit through turns 3 and 4 that time as well. 17 laps in, caution free in the early going. Looks like Clint Boyer still back in the 6th place position, right where he qualified. Again, Boyer and Earnhardt rivals coming into this race today. Hey, you know, a lot of birthdays tomorrow. Are you on like Google or something and just Googling whose birthday's tomorrow? I'm curious just because you know so many birthdays tomorrow. Some of these people, I don't even know who they are. Billy Carjoy, welcome to the stream. Keegan McPants, welcome to the stream. We've got one car on pit road that blew an engine but was able to make it into the pits unscathed, so we continue to stay green at IRP. This should be a one pit stop race today. I didn't mention that at the very start, but it should be a one stopper. The Truck Series was a one stop race. I'd imagine this Busch Series race will be a one stopper easily. Gonna work. I already said I have the thumbnail ready to go already. For tonight at least. China, welcome to the stream. Outsider, welcome into the stream as well. You can tell it's just tough to pass at this racetrack. Hamilton's been working forever on Dale Jr. Truex has been all over the back bumper of J.J. Yaley for the most part. .25 laps complete. Only an eighth of the way home so far. Junior's about 1.1 seconds off the lead. Hamilton's all over the back of Dale Jr. You can tell he's probably quicker. He just can't get around Dale Jr. He's racing him clean right now as well. Jr. gapped Hamilton just a little bit that time. Dale's going to try to run the outside, or at least widen his arc out quite a bit on entry. Tries it in turns 3 and 4, and that's the problem. He left the bottom open for John Hamilton to get underneath him. Side by side currently for third. Junior goes down the track trying to pinch and side draft Hamilton as Hamilton's still down low. Junior's holding on to the outside really well. Oh, contact though. Hamilton squeezed him, and Junior's up into the outside wall. That was an aggressive move by John Hamilton. He really threw it off into the corner as he was not clear on Dale Jr. when he went up the track and squeezed the 81 into the wall. Junior tried going to the top. Allowed the car to get underneath him because it's so hard to pass at IRP. Hamilton was destined to try and make that pass work. And Clint Boyer's 2 cars in line behind Dale Jr. as Jr.'s now 2.5 off the race lead. So he needs to hang on for dear life right now and make sure that Boyer does not get to the back bumper of the 81 here. Lap 32. Dale Jr. trying to get back to John Hamilton if he can as well. Driving it in really deep into turn 3. Super Jacob 31, welcome to the stream. Boyer looking to the inside of the 139 car for 5th place. Can't quite get underneath him going into turns 1 and 2. 139 goes wide to the outside. Boyer down low. Clint Boyer all over the back bumper of Dale Jr. getting into the corner. He tries to punt Dale Jr. up the racetrack. Well, talked about it. This is round 3. Round 3 between Clint Boyer and Dale Jr. today, and it comes at a bull ring short track at IRP. Boyer is hounding the 81 car right now. Junior does not want him to get to the inside if he can help it. Clint goes down low. Junior with a block going into turn 1. More contact. Nope, not quite. Boyer couldn't get to the back bumper that time. It looked like he may have overran the corner trying to get to the back bumper of the 81 once again. Hamilton closing in on the top 2. Rams Super Bowl champs, the 21st century. Welcome to the stream. 139 car back to the inside of Boyer. That'll occupy a little bit of space. I don't think Dale Jr.'s got good long run speed right now. He's trying to hold on. Yaley has led the first 36 laps from the pole so far today. Junior in the wall off turn 2. Gets back down the track just in time to block the 139 car. The 139 overdrove 3 and 4. Boyer back to the inside for 5th again. Junior running the middle groove this time. Boyer's far enough back. He's not going to get to the inside of the 81 that time, but he is going to clear the 139 off turn 2. And now Junior trying to hope and pray that Clint Boyer doesn't get around him. Junior's just really tight. Second time he's grazed the wall now. Boyer looks low after that mistake from Earnhardt off the last corner. Side by side as they enter turn 3. Boyer gets into the 81 of Earnhardt. Moves him up the hill. And a couple cars going to get by both of them. Earnhardt kept it off the wall that time. That costed Boyer and Earnhardt 2 spots. Junior wide again off turn 4. Can't arc the corner off going into turn 1. Junior hits him back. Yeah, he's already trying to. Junior shut the door on Clint Boyer, trying to make sure he doesn't hit him. Oh boy. We've got tempers. Tempers at IRP. Boyer and Earnhardt are not happy with each other right now. These two better watch it. Junior can't afford a caution to come out if he's involved in it. Whether that's him turning the 2 car or whether that's the 2 car turning him. Left a lot of bottom open. Trying to get the run off the exit of the corner. He does. He's still on the inside lane towards turn 3 in front of the 2 of Boyer. I can't drop back and punt him. Because if he even gets alongside of me, he's just going to door me like he did once already. And I can't bring out a caution. Or I can't pit for fuel and tires if I bring out the yellow. Big block going into turn 3. These guys have fallen way off the lead with the shenanigans going on. They were a second and a half back, and now they're in 6th and 7th rather than 4th and 5th, and they're 3.3 seconds off the lead. Boyer down low under Earnhardt. Drives it in deep. Junior all over the 2. Runs him up the racetrack and gets his spot back. Junior slides up in front. Boyer into the back of Earnhardt again. Noah Hall, welcome to the stream. Boyer shuffled to the outside. He's got another car underneath him going into turn 1, but he throws the block, and he's just able to get back down to the inside. But now he gets back into the gas a little too soon. Still able to get to the bottom and hold a really tight line going into turn 3. Again, Boyer goes to the outside. And Aaron Crocker may get underneath him off turn 4. We are at lap 50 at IRP today. A lot has happened in these first 50 laps. Junior has not got any. He's losing pace for sure. Aaron Crocker overdrives the corner. Oh, Crocker got in the wall. She lost about 3 spots in that corner alone. They had to go 3 wide back behind Dale Jr., but they're able to file back in. Junior's in dire need of a caution right now, and just to bunch the field up, really. 138 car now separating the 81 and the 2. So he tries to get around Dale Jr. for 6th. Dale Jr. is just way too tight all the way around the corner. He's definitely going to have to make some adjustment changes when he makes his way to pit road. Remember, there's only going to be one stop in this race today, so that's just one chance to make some adjustment changes. You better hope that you make the right ones. 138 car now to the inside of Dale Jr. rather. And Boyer on the back bumper of the 2 car as they enter towards the corner. Jr. desperately trying to get back to the inside, couldn't do it. Really wanted to cross over the 138, had no chance. Way too tight. Another car underneath the 2. Both Boyer and Earnhardt are really dropping back right now. And now Crocker gets back around Boyer as well. Boyer's about to fall outside the top 10. Past halfway on fuel right now. You don't want a short pit at IRP, or any short track for that matter. You'd risk of going a lap or 2 down. Probably 2 laps down at this track. So definitely going to want to stay out as long as you can on fuel and be the last to pit if you can help it in case there's a caution in the middle of green flag pit stops. Clint Boyer again trying to battle with Dale Earnhardt Jr., but he overdrives turn 3. I think he's just trying too hard to get to the back bumper of the 81 car, and if he's too far back going into the corner, that's why he keeps going up the hill. I will say the 138 car is not completely pulling away from the 81 of Dale Jr. Jr. feels he's got more grip with the race car in the outside lane. The problem is he leaves the bottom open, and other cars are fast enough later in the run that they're seemingly able to make a pass. Jr. really trying to arc the corner off that time. Aaron Crocker is clear of Boyer, right in line behind the 81 of Earnhardt. Into turns 3 and 4. Boyer looks back to the inside of Crocker again. Dale Jr. is about 4 seconds off the race lead. Right front tires really starting to wear out on Dale Jr.'s race car. It's a pretty, somewhat old surface too. Even older now than what it was at this time, but still a relatively old surface. Tire wear becoming an issue. Good tough. Boyer got in the back of Crocker there, and now Crocker definitely wiggled up the racetrack. And Junior's able to really arc his corners off. He's better, but it's so hard for him. What is that name? Only Putin didn't find girl with us. At 24 people watching right now, only 10 likes. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. First race of 2 today on a doubleheader Wednesday night on the channel. Watkins Glen Busch Series racing coming up next. That will be on a separate stream. By the way, at the front of the field, Martin Truex Jr. has taken the lead away from J.J. Yaley finally. No lap traffic around the leaders for the time being, at least. Dale Jr.'s actually closed in a little bit on the leaders. He was just over 4 seconds back. Now he's about 3.9 to 3.8 seconds off the lead. I think a lot of that has to do with them battling for position. And it does feel like Dale Jr. is starting to at least try to figure out the race car as he's on older tires, as he's closing in on the 138 car as well. Might have backed up the corner a little too much that time. Crocker almost gets to the inside of Earnhardt, but not quite. And there's Boyer. He got around Crocker all over the back of Earnhardt into turn 1. And he overdrives it, but now he runs into him. Kind of overdrove the corner just to get into the back of the 81. He did get into him. Boyer looking high. Tries to hook Earnhardt. They were 3 wide. I think Crocker might have gotten pinched into the wall. That has costed Junior a lot of time. Look how far the 138 car is pulling away after Boyer had gotten into him twice in the last couple laps now. And Junior is about 5.5 seconds off the race lead. Wade Solinsky, welcome to the stream. Junior had to lift off the exit of turn 4 to keep it off the wall. Oh, trouble nearly. One car shoved to the outside. It was Crocker. Boyer down low. Trying to make a 3-wide pass. There's damage on the front of the 2 car. And it's probably from running in the back of the 81. You can see the left rear crinkled on the 81 car as well. I thought we were going to see a wreck there for a second. I don't know who the 2 cars exactly that made contact. Look like Crocker and one of the fantasy drivers. Maybe the 139 car? Thought for a second they were both going to go up the track and into the wall, but that never seemed to happen. Do I play NASCAR 15? I've never played the Technics NASCAR games. I'd like to at some point in time, though. Need to send Boyer to the moon. Boyer's losing a lot of time. He's getting freight trained on the outside. He has fallen outside of the top 10. It looks like he's back in the 11th place position as Earnhardt holds on to 7th. 6.3 seconds off the lead. Earnhardt's teammate, though, of Martin Truex Jr. definitely pulling away right now. We're only 25 laps away from the halfway mark. There's not going to be a trivia question in the first race tonight, but there will be a trivia question in our second race of our doubleheader tonight, so have to be patient with me there. Figured I'd let you guys know, means we're closing in on the halfway mark where we'd usually give the trivia questions out. Crocker looks low off the exit of turn 2. Oh, and she nearly turns Earnhardt going into turn 3. Great job by Dale Jr. holding on to his race car. Crocker trying to move Jr. out of the way. The pass is made. Here comes Boyer. Earnhardt pitches Boyer off. He put himself in the wall in the process, but he was destined to not let the 2 car get around him or get alongside of him again. Allows Michael Jourdain Jr. to clear Clint Boyer again as well. Crocker was tired of getting held up by the 81 car. I can't really blame her. Plus with the shenanigans that the 2 car probably led to her as well. And Boyer stuck on the outside again. Look at Michael Jourdain Jr. He's trying to pass on the outside, and he does. He passes Dale Jr. on the outside. Jr. into Meal. Sandwich between Meal and Boyer. Junior's falling way backwards. Weverton Gerald, welcome into the stream. Both Junior and Boyer are falling outside the top 10. 3 wide nearly into the corner. A 3 wide pass up high by the 135 car. If he could clear Earnhardt into the side of him. Oh, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. We got a wreck off turn 2. Junior's around into the wall. Caution's out for the first time today. The AI backs him across traffic, and we've got a parking lot jam on the back straightaway. Junior was so tight for so long. He had a car on the outside of him, and once he made contact, he couldn't get off of it. He was just holding on for dear life that whole time. And unfortunately, Dale Jr. will have to go to the back. He can't pit for fuel or tires being involved in the accident. Still just shy of pit stops and the window being open to the end, so it's alright not being able to pit for tires and fuel. And he can't make adjustments either because of being involved in the accident. 6.7 seconds of damage, though, for Earnhardt. And he's definitely going to have to repair that after that accident. He was hanging on, but he was just falling backwards. He hit a cliff at about lap 60 and fell outside the top 10 in a hurry and then got in that wreck. I mean, he had 2 cars pass him on the outside, and the 135 was about ready to make it 3 cars passing him up high.
Nobody else decided to come in.
If I haven't shouted anybody out that's just tuning in for the first time, thanks for tuning in.
Here it is. Let's go.
And lap 85 for the restart. There are a lot of cars either out of this race or at least a few a lap down. Green flag back in the air. When do you pit if you're Dale Earnhardt Jr.? Do you just continue to try and stay out to the very end at this point? I mean, hope for the best. Now he's got to gain all that track position in the second half of this race. It's going to be difficult. He's going to be able to make an adjustment during the first stop. But him being involved in that wreck is costly. I just felt like it was only a matter of time, though. He couldn't hang on to that car. Crazy though, considering Truex is out in front leading right now. And Boyer's outside of the top 10, obviously, when that caution came out. So if Junior's going to have an off day, at least today's the day to have it. At least at IRP. And he won the only road course race on the Busch Series season at Old Spice Speedway. And the next race is at Watkins Glen, though he finished second in the Cup race at Watkins Glen to Jeff Gordon. Good news is Gordon won't be in the Xfinity / Busch Series field. When will we see cars dive onto pit road? Because I'd have to imagine it's going to be soon. And we are at lap 90. Cars checking out because others are going to pit road. Junior slammed on the brakes and it jerked him to the right. He locked him up going into turn 3 just to try and keep it off of everybody. Luckily, he didn't run anyone over. So the window seems to be open from now to the end of the race as we have cars hitting pit road. More cars on their way in this time. Junior's got a shot to pick up a position. This car's still tight, especially with the damage. But he's faster than the cars at the back of the pack, at least. Even after the spin, as he's going to be able to make a pass. All 4 tires in the yellow. So just that one caution so far today at lap 82. 109 cars, the one behind Dale Jr. currently. We'll alternate through the different camera angles for the first time in the race today. Junior's about 6.2 seconds off his teammate Martin Truex Jr. at the front of the field. Gonna need a fast pit stop, and they're gonna have to make the right adjustments. He qualified second. He had a good short run car, but after about 40 laps, it started to slowly fall off. After about 60 to 65 laps, it fell off a cliff. So they're definitely going to have to loosen this bad boy up. I think if he would have qualified on the pole and had clean air, I think he would have been fine because it was loose in qualifying, but it's just way too tight for the race. In traffic, at least. Mark DeMars, welcome to the stream. Alan Williams, welcome into the stream as well. And we are 2 laps away from halfway at the line. Not that many cars have pit so far. Junior still being in 25th. And nobody was able to pit during that first and only caution, lap 82, as they were still outside the window. Dale Jr. was involved in the accident. That's why he's back in the 25th place position right now. Needs to make some major adjustments to this race car. Car stacking up going into turn number 3 up ahead. Allowed Earnhardt to close in. A lot of 2x2 battling going on. Dale Jr. is going to have some more dirty air on his nose. Really widening that arc off through turns 1 and 2. Thought they were stacking up because we were going to have some cars pit, but that didn't seem like that was the case. I know there are a couple cars out of the race so far as well. Looked like only 1 car hit pit road that last lap. Probably going to have a lot more hitting pit road though this lap. No one out of that pack of probably close to a dozen cars in front of Dale Jr. That's where he's really going to have to watch a potential checkup going into turn 3. Truex still on the track. Now Truex will pit from the lead. J.J. Yaley's dominated the race so far, but Truex took the lead just before the caution and is controlling everything since the restart as well. Junior staying out as long as possible in case he can catch a caution. He can only really go a couple more laps on fuel. Shane Meal is out in front now, as Junior is cycled up to the 8th place position for the time being. About 4 more cars in front of him will pit. None of them are on the lead lap though. They're all lap cars that just pit right in front of him. Junior will stay out this time by. Shane Meal will also stay out. 86 car right in front of him will pit. That's a spot. A couple other cars on pit road. Cycle Junior up to 6th. Shane Meal on his way in this time. Junior will not be the leader this time by either. And Junior not going to risk it another lap. He'll pit this time by. He stayed out as long as he could, hoping for a caution, but he will have to pit now. 4 tires and fuel. Major adjustments coming to the 81. Going to try not to speed, but he's going to try to carry as much speed as he can on to pit road, and does. It'll be 4 tires and fuel. Going to take the half a round of wedge out of the race car. And they're going to bump that air pressure up 3 pounds as well. So major adjustments to the 81 of Dale Jr. in the first and only stop of the race. No trivia question for the first race, but I'm doing a second race at Watkins Glen right after this stream on another stream, and I'll do the trivia question in that race. Close to 3K. I know, we're closing in. I think we'll get there before the playoffs. In real life. So figured Junior was going to lose a little bit of time, considering he was one of the last cars to pit. He's still a lap down. That 113 car has not hit pit road yet. And I wonder if somebody might have pitted during the caution flag. And if he pitted during the yellow, he's going to be able to go a really long time on fuel. Hopes for a caution the second half of the race to bunch everybody back together. .90 laps to go at the line, and the 113 will be on his way in. He was able to go a really long way on fuel comparison to the rest of the field. Enough to lead some laps. Junior's car's still tight. I just kind of feel it's not as bad as before, but It's not great either. He's not really closing in on these cars ahead of him. Looks like J.J. Yaley, by the way, cycled back to the lead. He may have pitted before Truex, and that allowed him to cycle back out in front. Dale Jr. is back in the 36th place position. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, Michael. Junior down low. Got to take advantage right now while he can and trying to pass cars. That wasn't for a position. A little bit of contact in the middle of the corner, but Junior's pulling clear on the backstretch. He is, oh, caution's out for the second time today, and that's going to be a big yellow flag that'll bunch the field back up again. Debris. Somebody's hood just flew off. That was probably involved in that accident in the back straightaway back at lap 82. Looks like the 135 car's hood has come off. So this will give Dale Jr. a chance to make another adjustment, as he's still got 3 sets of tires left, so he is definitely going to pit this time. He was 13 seconds off the lead when the caution came out, and he was 36th. Last car in the lead lap. Somebody's going to get the free pass. However, the first car 1 lap down was going to be. So Dale Jr. will be back on pit road. Might as well take 4 tires while he's here as well. Another pound of air pressure going into the car, and they're going to take a full round of wedge out of it. They took a half a round out and gained and put 3 pounds of air pressure in before. And Junior's going to have slightly fresher tires on the rest of the field now also. All right, well, let's see. Green flag back in the air. 81 laps to go at IRP. J.J. Yaley leads the field to the green. Dale Jr. kind of spun the tires on the restart. Having to get back into the gas in the middle of the corner. Has he made the right adjustments to this race car? He was lucky he was able to make a second pit stop. He's got to hope for the best now. At least he's not 13 seconds off the lead anymore. It's about 5.5. Problem is, he's still got a lot of cars to pass. 35 to be exact. It definitely feels a lot better. Oh, and we got another caution. It looked like more debris at the back, and the pack flipped up into the air. Debris after debris after debris cautions that are giving less and less laps for Dale Jr. to try to make some movement through the field. Somebody else's hood has come off towards the back. Well, Jr. might as well pit again. He's got 2 sets of tires left. He's at the back of the pack. Why not? It's our 3rd caution of the race. Gonna take another half round of wedge out of the car. Really loosen it up. This might be a little risky loosening it up as much as Dale Jr. has. Hopefully it's not gonna be too bad on the long run. I mean, the way the cautions keep coming out, he might not have to put too many laps on these tires. He only ran about 2 to 3 laps in between the restart and that caution that time, but Junior is doing everything he can. Trying to think outside the box. You really have to in this situation. He's got a chance to not spin the tires on the restart this time. We'll see if he can get a better launch, a little bit better. He didn't spin the tires. Some contact out in front of him. Green flag's back in the air. 75 laps to go now at IRP. Adjustments during 3 stops in this race. It was supposed to be just a 1-stopper, but not anymore. This car's definitely loose. Loose is fast if he can hang on to it. And boy, Dale Jr. is hoping for the best. Altogether, he's probably got about 20 lap fresher tires than the rest of the field that pitted right around lap 100. I'm excluding the caution laps in there, and some of them pit just after lap 100. 2 spots gained, though, since the restart. We'll see if we get any more cautions the rest of the way. Dale Jr. still 5 seconds off the lead up to 33rd. He's making passes, though. He's got 20 lap fresher tires. That's going to help on top of the adjustment changes. If he wins this race, he's going to be thanking the heavens that he was able to make a bunch of changes to this race car because of being able to pit more than once. I don't even know that that last car that brought out the debris caution was in that wreck, considering how far back in the pack they were. It might have been from something else, just on-track carnage. Somebody just got bumped and ran on. Another car got launched to the outside right in front of Jamie McMurray in the 64. Dale Jr.'s back inside the top 30. So at 75 laps, he's going to have to go from 36th to 1st. A little loose that time into turn 1. A little harder on the brakes as he was trying to keep it off the car in front of him. With how loose he is, just a little bit of contact could probably turn the car around. We've got more contact up ahead, starting to stack cars up. So not just Dale Jr., but it looks like there are a lot of drivers picking up the aggressiveness. Jr. trying to keep it off of everybody and race clean. We know that hardest car to pass when the time comes, though, is going to be Clint Boyer. J.J. Yaley holds on to the lead off these last couple restarts. 3 wide into turn 1 off the exit of turn 4. Junior gets clipped by the 83 car, nearly goes around. That wasn't really Earnhardt's fault. The 83 couldn't quite hold his line. Junior went down to the grass, lost a lot of time there. Made a good save, but definitely lost a lot of time. And hopefully that didn't abuse the tires too much. Lost a couple positions as well. I think he was in 26 when the contact happened. Now he's 6.2 seconds off the lead. Yaley seems to be the fastest short-run car, and I think the fastest long-run car is Martin Truex Jr., so we'll see how long the 18 can hold on. Maybe the cautions are prolonging the chances of Truex trying to get back into this and take the lead for Chance 2 Motorsports. Well, they tried 3 wide. It didn't really work. Still 64 laps to go. 64 laps at IRP is not a long time, though. Now he's got to recover from a 6.2 second deficit. I mean, he's 13 seconds back at one point before those last couple cautions. 3 wide again off turn 4 towards turn 1. It didn't work last time. Will it work this time? It will, because they're side by side. The 106 was able to clear that next car on the top. Although Junior didn't get a lot of room, he hit his marks. He kept it off the car that was on his outside, and he's still making passes. A little bit of a stack up. A lot of 2x2 racing up ahead yet. He's just got to hope the inside line can get moving so he doesn't have to try to make 3 wide passes, because it's probably not going to work if he tries it again. I think Junior's got the car only because of the 20-lap fresher tires. But, I mean, there was an opportunity for more cars to pit, and he was the only one. All 4 tires down below the yellow line that time. Luckily, he's able to grip it up down there, at least earlier in the run. Still in the first 20 laps on these tires since Earnhardt pitted at about lap 126. 3 wide into turn 1. Contact. Got the 81 a bit sideways. Oh, and the 131 came off the wall, making contact with Earnhardt as well there. Junior's starting to use the chrome horn now. He needs to get through these guys as quick as possible. He knows he's getting held up because they're on old tires. They're not going to be able to hold their tires. I mean, I guess they really only have about 40 laps on theirs right now. Well, the caution's probably a little less than that. 18.508 fast laps so far, so the adjustments are definitely helping. The combination of the adjustments and the fresher tires is why Earnhardt's starting to pick him up and put him down. I think he can at least salvage a good finish out of this, even if he can't catch Yaley and Truex at the front of the field. Clint Boyer's going to be tough to pass whenever he gets to the 2 car as well. Dale Jr. back in the top half of the field now. Past the lap car through turns 3 and 4, so he's still in 21st. 56 laps to go. Underneath the 133 car. Little side draft in the middle of the corner. No contact necessary, though, and he's up inside the top 20 again. Hoping that the car does not fade in the long run, whether it gets too tight like it was on that first run of the race, or too loose just with the adjustment changes. A little power slide going into turn 1. You can definitely tell he is pushing hard. Car in the wall on the outside of him. He's able to clear now for 19th down the back straightaway. Still just north of 50 laps remaining at IRP. Hit that like button, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content, ladies and gents. First race of 2 on a doubleheader Wednesday. We're racing at Watkins Glen next for the Busch Series. Oh, we got a checkup. Major checkup. One car is blown up on the inside of the racetrack. It's Kenny Wallace in the 22. Earnhardt is back inside the top 10. He got by a bunch of cars that time because of Wallace blowing an engine in the middle of the corner. He just got to the outside of Wallace on the middle of the front straightaway. Kenny still trying to get to pit road, and Dale Jr. passes Labonte into turn 3 for 9th. That gained a lot of spots for Dale Jr. He's still 5.9 seconds off the lead because he kind of had to check up himself too, but he was still able to get past him a lot quicker than a lot of the other cars. And now if we get a caution with him gaining all the track position, that is where it could really play into his favor. That was a little luck that time to get through that many cars that quickly, but sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. That's the second straight race in which Kenny Wallace has blown an engine too. He blew an engine back at the Old Spice Speedway. Fell outside the top 10 in points because of it, and he'll fall even further back now. Cup regulars, Kenny Wallace in this game with him running full-time in our Cup Series season for Michael Waltrip Racing, the Aaron's Dream Machine 00 car. Junior about 5.5 seconds off the lead. He is faster than the leaders, but I just don't know if 5.5 seconds with 49 to go at this short of a track is going to be doable, especially with still more cars to pass, probably lap cars and lead lap cars ahead. Now, leaders will catch lap traffic before the end of this race. Got a car blocking Earnhardt off the exit of turn 4. So head towards 1 and 2 now. Junior powers to the bottom. That's a spot up to 8th. All clear with a clean pass through turns 3 and 4. 5.1 seconds off the lead. Rod G, welcome to the stream, by the way. Shane Meals definitely for position. He led some laps in the middle of green flag pit stops. And I see Martin Truex Jr. up ahead just a little bit. Still have to take a couple field passes yet today. We'll wait on that for the time being. Jr. underneath Meal for 7th. He's got the spot. John Hamilton will be next. Hamilton did squeeze Earnhardt into the wall earlier. That was before he was a rival, so I'm not sure exactly, why he did that. And now he's upset with Junior as a result, even though it was all Hamilton's fault. Junior's definitely going to have to be careful past him. Hamilton trying to block in the middle of turns 3 and 4 for the time being. Junior down low off the exit of turn 4. side by side as they enter turn 1. Earnhardt down low. Hamilton up high. Contact. Junior trying to move the 120 out of the way. Still side by side. Hoping that the 120 car gives him just enough room. Junior power slides as he drives in deep into the corner. Just clears him off turn 4. Shut the door as quickly as he could, and Junior's up to 6. 4.2 seconds off the lead with 42 laps to go now. We're going to take our first field pass of the race here with Martin Truex Jr. in the 8. Truex pulling away from Dale Jr. just a bit right now. Go back to Earnhardt again this next lap. It's allowing Truex to close in a bit on the leaders as well. He's about 3.4 seconds off the lead. Oh, Truex up the track. He got really loose going into turn 1. Whatever time he was gaining, it looks like he has lost it all of a sudden. Junior closing in on the 8. Little contact. Oh, more contact! Almost! Wrecked both race cars that time going into turn 1. Junior got hung up on him. It's going to cost both cars a little bit of time. 4.2 seconds off the lead again. It was about 3.4 to 3.6 before he got hung up. Luckily, it didn't wreck anybody. Junior's starting to get that momentum back again, though. He's got to hope those leaders can either battle with each other and or they catch lap traffic. Both of those things will definitely help Dale Jr. Alternate through the different camera angles one more time in today's race for about a half a dozen laps. Will we stay green to the end? Caution would play in Earnhardt's favor with him having 20 lap pressure tires on the rest of the field. It means a lot at this racetrack. He's definitely starting to slowly close in on Clint Boyer in that 2 car up ahead as well. That is the next car Dale Jr. is going to have to pass. Boyer's been all over the back of Eric Crocker for a little bit. It's so hard to pass at this racetrack, though. We've seen that all day, except for on the restarts. Or in Junior's case, if you have a little bit fresher tires. Strategy's worked him back inside the top 5, but now can he actually get to the front? Junior has not led a lap at all in this race today. Determined to try and get this win. 30 laps to go this time by. Lap car right in front of both Aaron Crocker and Clint Boyer off the exit of turn 4. They haven't quite gotten to him yet. The leaders are definitely in lap traffic as we speak. Oscar Ramirez Herrera, welcome to the stream. Boyer and Earnhardt already have been dishing it out back and forth a couple times today. But now they're both inside the top 5, and we have 29 laps to go. Back to the far chase cam for the rest of the race. Lap car pulls down right in front of Dale Jr. Right in the middle of the corner as Jr. was closing in on him. Trying to get around him. Just got to the inside. Going to make a clean pass going into turn 3. Cost him a little time. Took him about a lap to get around the 121. Trying to get alongside Boyer off the exit of turn 4. He's going to have to get around him quick. He knocks the 2 car up the track. He's definitely trying to pass him as fast as he can right now. Still side by side towards turn 1. Oh, Junior slid into the corner a little too hot. He's got to make a quick pass on the 2. .26 to go. Into the corner, side by side. Boyer gets into the side of the 81. Junior squeezes him up the track again. That's going to cost him time. Boyer hit him that time. I'm going to swap back to Truex real quick and see if the 81 could get around the 2 on his own. Means he's got fresher tires. 1.6 seconds off the lead. All these guys are closing in on the leaders with them dealing with more lap traffic. A lot of damage on the front of the 81 car as well. Got to be careful at this juncture of the race. May not want to use the bumper again. Truex less than 3 seconds off the lead and closing. Junior's backing up. I think the damage on the front of his car may be slowing him down just a bit. There's a huge line of lap cars right in front of the leaders. I'll go back to Junior at the start-finish line this time. Truex kind of sitting back. He's going to block the car in line behind him, who I believe is a lap down in the 121.
Okay, buddy, let's do it.
2.9 seconds off the lead. 20 to go this time by. He's got to get back up there. I don't know if Yaley has been able to pass all the lap cars he had directly in front of him yet. Both the right side tires wearing out quite a bit on Earnhardt's race car. I don't know how he's going to get around Boyer. He's going to have to get around him one way or another. A couple lap cars nearly make contact. 56 and the 86 in turns 3 and 4. 18 laps to go at IRP in the first race of our doubleheader tonight. Lewis is fast if he can hang on to it. Dale Jr. can't afford to have that debris caution either because he would bring out the accident. Another reason why he doesn't want to use that front bumper too much. I think these are all lap cars right in front of Dale Jr. He's got to hope that they stay out of his way. He'll get underneath the 56 cleanly. 2 seconds off the lead. Down into turn 1. Contact 56, holding him a bit tight. That cost the Junior 0.2 of a second that corner with the contact. I mean, these lap cars just definitely not doing him any favors right now. Now the 86 pulls down in front of him right in the middle of the corner. Got around the 157 pretty quickly. Drives it in deep under the 86 car into turns 3 and 4. 14 laps to go at the line. Another logjam of traffic right in front of J.J. Yaley and the rest of the leaders. We know Crocker's in 3rd. Boyer's in 4th. Yaley's the leader. I'm not sure who's in 2nd as of right now. 2nd place has to be very close to Yaley, I'd have to imagine. 2x2 lap traffic up ahead. You can see how quickly Crocker, Boyer, and Earnhardt are closing. I think I see Yaley's car right in the middle of that mess up there. 2.5 seconds back. Top 5 all within 1.4 seconds with 12 to go at IRP. Earnhardt, 1.1 seconds off the lead. This is as close interval-wise as he's been to the lead in a while. Drove it in deep, though, and he overdrove the corner. Trying to get around the lap car in the 108, and that costed him a little bit of time. Great job keeping control of the car. 10 to go. Junior would lose points to Bowyer as well. Both Bowyer and Earnhardt have not led any laps today. Three wide has not worked as well today. Earnhardt's got to think about trying to do it, though, because there's not enough time to just sit and wait for these guys to pass each other up here and open up the airways for him to make moves on the bottom as he passes 2 lap cars that last lap. It's 1.3 seconds off the lead again. Left front starting to wear out a little bit more now in the 81. Driving underneath the 103. 103 gets a little tight, had to lift to keep it off the wall that last corner. Earnhardt is all over the place right now. He is digging. 7 to go. 3 wide to the bottom. Contact. That might have cost him time, though. He's 1.7 seconds off the lead again, and now the right front fender's in the red just as well as the front bumper. Tried to go 3 wide. That stacked him up a little more, and we have just 6 laps to go. JC1424, welcome to the stream. In all honesty, I did not make the thumbnail. Hey, it's Dale Jr. nevertheless. At least we have the right driver. 5 to go. Caution comes out, the race could end. Sometimes we get the green-white checkers, sometimes we don't. Junior definitely made a good comeback. He got back inside the top 5. I don't think he's going to have a shot to win here unless something crazy happens. Trying to make some desperate passes. He's 1.3 seconds off the lead again. 3 laps to go. Little contact into the corner. Little bump and run on the lap car. I think Bowyer's still the car in 4th place up ahead. And again, Bowyer and Earnhardt are rivals. Yaley has 3 cars breathing down his neck. Junior 1.2 seconds back of the leader with a lap and a half to go now. Can J.J. Yaley hold on and pick up his first win of the Busch Series season? If he does, he'll be the 10th different winner of the Busch season. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go. Dale Jr. gets a little contact on the right rear corner panel, hangs on. And as they go into turn 3, he's not going to have a shot to pick up another position. And off of turn 4, J.J. Yaley will hold on, and Yaley is going to win at IRP. From the pole, he dominated today's race. He deserved it. Yaley went out and won this thing. First win of the year for J.J. Yaley, the 10th different winner of the Busch Series season. Another Busch regular going to victory lane this year. 150 of the 200 laps led for Yaley in this first race of our Wednesday night doubleheader. Tony Raines ends up finishing at 2nd, started 29th. That's pretty impressive considering how hard it is to pass at this track. Aaron Crocker ends up finishing at 3rd, Clint Bowyer 4th, and Dale Jr. rounds out the top 5. The streak of Bowyer and Earnhardt winning each of the last 6 races is now over. They split 3 apiece in those last 6. J.J. Yaley wins his first of the year, 3 cautions for 9 caution laps. 6 lead changes was it. I mentioned, like I said, it was very hard to pass today. It's all about track position, and what better way to have the track position than start on the pole, as Yaley did. 0.3 of a second was the margin of victory. 1 hour, 9 minutes total time of today's race with the 3 yellows. 118.21 miles per hour was the average race speed. Martin Truex Jr. led 40 laps today, finishing in 6th place. Shane Meal led 3 laps during green flag pit stops to finish 7th. John Hamilton finished 8th, Peterson 9th, and Bobby Labonte rounds out the top 10 today. Labonte also started deep in the field. It's a good run for him. He came into the top 10 of the point standings, so he'll be able to keep that alive as well. 20 cars finished on the lead lap in today's race total. And as far as DNFs go, we had Powell, Clark, Kenny Wallace, Erickson were the DNFs. 4 drivers, blue engines. I credit Wallace blowing an engine to me probably getting a top 5 finish, because I don't know that I would have gotten up through the field as quickly as I did if it wasn't for him kind of stacking some cars up not long after that last restart. Stop racing clean, just dump Boyer. Yeah, but I pride myself on racing clean to the sense where if I bring out a caution, whether I'm like spinning or I turn somebody, I can't pit for fuel or tires, and I punish myself by restarting at the back of the pack. That's just me priding myself on trying to race clean. So I'll sideswipe Boyer. I'll try to move him out of the way, and I tried to move him out of the way a couple times there, but just couldn't budge. And actually, I got underneath him the one time I hit him, but then he hit me back, and I got loose, and he got right back around me. Needed Ross Chastain to show up that race. We'll have another shot at it. I mean, literally the only chance I would have to, like, completely dump him, it would be the final lap, because there's no cautions on the final lap. So technically, I could turn him, and I wouldn't have any repercussions of a caution coming out because of it. But that would be the only chance I'd have of, like, legitimately paying him back. Zippo 200 at Watkins Glen, 82 laps will be the next race of the night. Again, that will be on a different stream. We're going to check out the point standings right before we end this one. So definitely be on the lookout for that next stream coming up in a couple of minutes after this one. Why didn't I use the Intimidator button? I don't know. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And I didn't want him to get loose. My front bumper was already damaged too. When I tried to move him out of the way twice, I was kind of risking DNFing with any little bit of contact after that. Luckily, Boyer only beat us by 5 points in that race, so we only lost 5 points to the 2 car because neither of us led a lap. He only beat us by 1 position. So if we were going to lose points to Boyer, again, at least it was only 5. J.G. Haley with the win, though, actually does close in on Boyer for second and pulls away from Earnhardt as he is about 45 points ahead of Dale Jr. between second and third. Truex is in the top 5 in the point standings now. Bobby Labonte moves up to 7th with the top 10 today. Aaron Crocker with a top 5, finished 4th, up to 9th in the standings. So I think you can pretty much look at the top 7 as still having a chance at the championship yet, as we have 12 races to go on the season. If Boyer DNFs once, it's definitely going to be a 7-car battle for the championship. Obviously, that's barring anybody else DNFing as well. All right, again, hit that like button, subscribe, and I will see you guys here in a couple minutes for race 2 of the doubleheader on a separate stream. Watkins Glen, the Zippo 200. If you did watch or did not watch the Watkins Glen race yesterday, or not yesterday, but last week on NASCAR 06 in the Cup Series, it was absolutely insane. I would imagine it's going to be that way again in the Busch Series today. We're probably going to see a lot of wrecks in the bus stop, and it's going to be a survival of the fittest kind of race today. And hopefully Dale Jr. can survive it and get a good finish like he did in the Cup race where he finished second. I'll see you guys in a few.